As many have anticipated, and as we at Credenzio Studios have teased, yes, Lionhearts will be coming to Steam through Unreal Engine 5. This decision has massive implications for Credenzio Studios and the entire Lionhearts community, which is why it's very important that you pay attention during this video, as I describe how Lionhearts Reforged will be made and answer many questions you may have. We are planning on creating a new Lionhearts game, one that will be made through Unreal Engine 5 and put on the Steam Marketplace for purchase. Imagine a medieval world where players make meaningful and impactful decisions that affect and change the very history they are participating in. This authentic experience will allow an entire kingdom to operate in a realistic manner, with interwoven economic, political, and religious events that players, not developers, are making decisions about and operating in real time. Player-driven hierarchies and an economy that has true weight to it. This game will take place in the same setting and world that many of you already love and have come to be familiar with, the Holy Land during the Third Crusade. This game is still Lionhearts. We're planning to make massive improvements and reorient the project we currently have to fix core issues while still providing the things everyone loves about Lionhearts. We'll be providing more detail on the specifics of what will be included in this game in a separate video, so stay tuned. So, why Unreal Engine and why Steam? Despite our vast work on the Roblox engine and its platform, it has limitations that cannot be overcome. The largest one is audience. The aged-up medieval audience that loves Lionhearts simply does not exist at the scale necessary on the Roblox platform. The highest performing Roblox medieval games hardly even reach 1,000 concurrent players. While this might satisfy some, Credenzio Studios has massive ambitions to make Lionhearts have a revolutionary impact on the world of gaming. On top of this, Roblox takes a staggering 81% cut of all earnings their developers make. Compared to Steam and Unreal Engine 5, this is enormous. Unless you become a top 100 earning game on Roblox, it is difficult to sustain the expenses incurred by running an entire game studio. Roblox is a platform that has many benefits for certain types of games, and we are not planning on abandoning our development projects on Roblox. We simply think Steam is the better home for a game like Lionhearts. Unreal Engine 5 offers technological advances that will allow us to take Lionhearts to the next level. Massive performant battles, amazing visual fidelity, and a truly immersive world for players to enjoy. Unreal Engine 5 charges their developers 0% before the first million of revenue earned, making it a much more affordable option. We've had to jump through hoops to make a game as ambitious and massive on Roblox. Making a massive game in Unreal Engine is still a challenge, but they provide the tools necessary to make it as easy as possible for developers to do so. Steam has its own challenges, and we believe our studio and plan are apt to handle and overcome these challenges. Steam is an aged-up marketplace where paid games thrive, and it has a massive medieval audience. Medieval games on Steam can generate upwards of tens of thousands of concurrent players, and have a track record of success in the same genre of Lionhearts. Their 30% marketplace fee is far less than Roblox's, and Steam players spend far more money on their games. For every player on a Steam game, a developer earns 14.29 times more compared to a Roblox experience when you account for the amount spent by players, development cuts, and fees. Steam also offers more independence and less restrictions on what developers put into their games, allowing Lionhearts to easily incorporate religious aspects and more realistic combat that we have been restricted from adding on Roblox. Currently, we're planning a fundraiser on Kickstarter that will allow us to fund this endeavor. By partnering with large supportive YouTubers, agencies, and brands, we hope to easily achieve our funding goal to get Lionhearts Reforged to the finish line. Every donation will go towards making this dream come true. For many of you, especially those in the Lionhearts community, there are massive questions about how exactly this will affect the current game. I'm going to answer those questions submitted by you now. So the first question comes to us by Anonymous. How much will the game take and how much to buy it? So I assume you mean length of time. The game's going to take a while to make. I mean, we estimate upwards of 18 months. However, we are going to prepare a demo for the launch of the fundraiser so people can actually see what it's going to look like, some of the core features and mechanics that we really want to show off. As far as price, it's not going to be the same cost as the Roblox game. We're thinking anywhere in the $30 to $60 range depending on market value at the time of release. Now, if this is upsetting to anybody hearing that, just keep in mind we have a plan for existing community members to get game keys and discounts, so it's a lot more affordable. The second question, also by Anonymous, will we keep our items and weapons in the Steam game because I grinded for a cast Damascus weapon and I don't want to lose it? To answer that question, yes, we're planning on doing a data clone, meaning everybody who has weapons, gold, and such in the Lionhearts game will have that cloned into Reforged on Steam. I don't know right now if the data is going to sync one-to-one across both games. That's probably unlikely, but people have worked a really long time on Lionhearts Crusade for their items. We want to preserve that and keep them in the new game because the new game is going to have a lot of the same items and things such as that. The things we're changing are more oriented towards core systems and the way things interact with each other, not necessarily items. Another question by Anonymous. Will the Roblox game still be up and will it get updated? Yes, to will it still be kept up? We're going to keep it up. We're going to keep updating it to avoid bugs and things like that and fix things as they come up. As far as active new features, that's going to slow down. We really want to put as much attention as we can into the Steam project. So updates to the level that we've been getting over the last few years are not going to be sustained. However, we're going to make sure the game stays up. We're going to make sure it stays as bug-free as possible, and we're going to keep it and maintain it as long as we can because we know a lot of you may not want to go to Steam. We know a lot of you may have reservations about maybe your device can't handle a Steam game, and you want to keep what you've earned on the Roblox game, and you want to keep being able to play that. So that's still going to be possible. So minor updates, content updates, things like that can be potentially expected. Content updates, fixes for sure. The next question comes from Roblox. When can we expect a fully functional version of Lionhearts Reforged? Switching now seems risky since the current version is incomplete. Well, Lionhearts Crusade may never be completed because it's a passion project. It's something that we've been working on for a really long time. And Reforged is our effort to actually make a solid product that has all the elements that we love in Lionhearts Crusade. So a fully functional version of Reforged should be included on release. I mean, we want it to be functional, we want it to be fun. So as far as timeline goes, what I've already said, we're looking upwards of 18 months from development starting. We're still in the planning process, but should be starting within the next month or so. We're not going to rush this. We're going to do as much as we can, as quickly as we can, but we want to make sure the game is in a really good place before we open it. And in the meantime, we're going to keep the Roblox game up, and you're free to play that. And when we have a demo ready, you guys will be the first to know. Next question by Anonymous. Will there finally be siege weapons in this game? Yes, that's something we're going to prioritize on release. We think that's a huge advertising point as far as engagement, as far as getting people into the idea of a medieval world. Siege weapons will be included on release. That is something that I'm very adamant about and something that I think is very important. Next question from Anonymous. Will there be a breeding update? Yes, we're planning a breeding update, not just for horses, but for livestock, which are going to have huge value in the social feudal economy. So yes, there will be horse breeding, there will be livestock breeding, not human breeding. We're not going to be adding brothels and things like that, maybe to some people's dismay, but that's not something we're planning on. Will main maze and bleeding effect get removed? Everything's on the table as far as combat and everything. We're going to look at everything. We're going to make sure anything we add as far as skills, core mechanics, are actually fun and people enjoy them. So the way that status effects currently are in Crusade are likely to be changed or removed and improved upon. Next question from Kiani. Myth, will there be new regions that could be added in Lionhearts when it goes on Steam, for example, Anatolia or the island of Cyprus? I can't speak to exactly what the world map is going to look like upon release. We're going to try to do as much as we can to get the highest quality, content-filled, and exciting map out that we can. We're not going to just go for the biggest map that maybe is a little empty or doesn't have everything that we want to do. We want a map that's sized appropriate towards what we can put in it. So Cyprus, Anatolia, everything's on the table, but I can't promise that those things will be included on release. They might and they might not. There's a lot that's going to have to go into it before we know that. Okay, next question. My favorite question so far. A civilian of Ain Acrine Outskirts says, Sir, can you elaborate on feudal system in Lionhearts Steam? Thank you, very nice question. Yeah, I can elaborate on it. The core of the game is going to be based in the feudal system and feudal hierarchies. The core gameplay loop is going to be ascending up the feudal hierarchy, whether that's in the religious aspect, in the mercantile aspect, or the political and military aspect. And those are going to be the 3 branches people are going to be allowed to ascend. We have some really cool plans I'm excited to show you guys on exactly how our gameplay loop's going to work and exactly what each sort of tier in that hierarchy looks like. But the core of the game is going to be collecting favor and ascending the feudal hierarchy. And so I can't give you super specific details right now. That's going to come in another video. Next question from Anonymous. Will the game have all the factions the current one has? And will it have divisions and other rank structures inside factions? So rank structures and factions are getting replaced with something called kingdoms. They're going to still be like factions, but more all-encompassing with more features and more capacity with, economic events, religious events, things like that. And so ranking up inside a faction will actually ranking up inside your kingdom in a certain branch, as I've already sort of discussed. What we want to do is prioritize the factions we can fit snugly without being too overpopulated in the land that we have. So if we release with all 4 regions, all 16 factions or kingdoms are likely. If we want to start smaller, then we're just going to start with the factions in those areas and then grow from there. The plan is always going to be to get back to the number of factions we have now. We're going to prioritize good gameplay in a solid gameplay loop. And if we can do that on a small scale, we're going to scale it up. Next question from Anonymous. Can we expect any changes to the combat system? And more importantly, any changes to the garrison system? Yes, it's going to be different because it's a different engine. So even if we tried to one-to-one the combat system, it's going to feel different. It's going to be a little different. I personally love the directional combat system we've made. I love the parry timings, and I love the weapons that we currently have. I'd like to enhance it. I'd like to make it better without changing the core of it. That's the plan right now. Everything's on the table, though. We want to make something very fun and repeatable, and we'll see what we can do within the limits of Unreal Engine if we can really make something that feels a lot better. But the core of it, I really want to keep the same. Next question from Anonymous. Will Roblox still be updated? Yes, the Roblox game will still be updated as far as bug fixes and maintenance, for sure. Next question from Anonymous. Will Steam be using Anthro avatar models? Will there be blocky models, or is there something else? Yes, we're going to use anthropomorphic avatars. The Steam marketplace, I don't think, is going to be as amenable to a blocky character medieval game. That aesthetic works on Roblox to a degree, but we're really adamant about making really cool, realistic, historical characters, but not in the same sense that every other medieval game does. We want to actually have a unique look, and we're still playing with the art and what exactly we're going to do, but I promise you, not going to have Roblox blocky models. Some of you may be disappointed in that, but it's really just a better marketability choice to have anthropomorphic models. Next question from Anonymous. What experience does the studio have in Unity? And will the studio hire people to make Lionhearts on Steam? Well, we don't have any experience in Unity, and we're not making the game on Unity. We're making the game on Unreal Engine 5. which some of our team members do have some experience with and which we are learning. For the second question, are we planning on hiring people? Of course, we're going to hire as many people as we need to get the project done, depending on how much we raise in the fundraiser. So while we're working on the demo, the team's going to be a little smaller, and then once we release the demo and the fundraiser and we get the funds we need, we're going to scale up to get the team that we need with the right qualifications and the right skills to do what we need. However, a lot of the developers we already have the skill sets that we need to transition to Unreal. This is animating, 3D modeling, level design. These skills can easily translate. Programming is a different language, but our current programmers can learn or already know C++, which is what Unreal uses, and we'll be hiring more people to account for any discrepancies there. Next question by Anonymous: is there any approximate release date or testing for players? No, we're not even close to having a release date. Testing for players as well, that's not going to be something that I can tell you about right now. We need to get a little bit more headway for us to be able to know those answers. Next question by Anonymous: will the Steam game creation terminate, delete, erase, throw out, cancel, eliminate, execute, kill, or remove the Roblox game? No, it's not going to do any of those things. Next question by Anonymous: may you have a housewife and children on Steam Lionhearts? Probably not. Those are not features we're currently planning. Next question by Just a Monkey: will it be able to run on low-end devices? Well, that question's interesting. Unreal actually has a lot of things you can do to make the game run very smoothly, maybe even more smoothly than the Roblox does on lower-end devices. We're currently not planning for mobile, but we'd like to do it on console. Mobile is just not a great device for what we're planning, so if it's a mobile device, probably not. If it's a lower-end laptop, maybe, depending how low-end it is. We do expect the game to perform a lot better than the current Crusade game does on Roblox. Next question by Anonymous. Will all territories be reset? Will the maps be the same? Both those questions are interesting. As far as territories being reset, almost certainly we're going to start with default territories. The map being the same? No, the map's not going to be exactly the same. It's going to be in the same area. It's going to look similar, but we're going to make changes. It's going to be visually improved. Okay, last question, which I really like. Can I own a mine and force people to work in it and then collapse the tunnels so they get trapped forever and die? Maybe. That's something that could be a possibility with a feudal system. Trapped forever? Probably not. But maybe one time you could pull a prank on them and that would be funny. And then I'm going to answer one more. Another one from a civilian of Akrine Outskirts. Sir, you need developers who want to learn or help Lionhearts development or at least have experience to accelerate the release of Lionhearts. If you have experience in Unreal Engine, if you have experience in C++, if you're a 3D modeler or an animator, please come contact us. We would love to have help, either volunteer work or paid, depending on your experience and what you're willing to do. And we're definitely open to having those conversations. So anybody who wants to come help make this project happen, we would love that. And we really appreciate it. So that's the end of the questions, guys, and that's the end of the video. I really hope that I've answered your questions. I hope that you understand what we're doing. We're gonna have more videos coming out soon, more info coming out soon. So stay tuned. I can't wait to get Lionhearts Reforged on Steam. Thanks, guys.